to New York. And it is really particularly ravaged the long-term care homes, which have had awful outbreaks. The military was actually called in to help in Quebec and a little bit in Ontario as well. So over 1,000 military personnel are going to be deployed in Quebec at senior facilities, and these are regular troops and people from all over the military, but led by medical military staff, who would normally be on bases, who are coming to lead these teams.
What's been the response from the government to the economic losses caused by the lockdowns?
So there have been really serious restrictions in place all over the country, and business closures, and an unemployment rate right now of 13%. And the government has basically been pumping money into the economy with different unemployment benefits and business supports. And they unveiled an emergency unemployment benefit in April, and a lot of employees worked really long hours, government employees, to get it to people, including people from other departments who were brought in to handle phone calls, help people apply.
Carrie Con, let me go back to you and ask about some of the other countries that you cover, particularly in the Caribbean. What's the situation there?
It's very tough. Haiti is the poorest country in the hemisphere, and its health system is no way prepared for this health emergency. So far, the cases are low, but testing is very limited there. In Central America, it's also very unprepared. El Salvador has taken the toughest actions with a total lockdown and housing people who break the lockdown in quarantine centers for up to 30 days. Nicaragua's on the other spectrum. Their president, Daniel Ortega, is not ordering anything. He's very much downplayed it. There's no safe distancing, no quarantining practically, and no testing. He says people will starve to death in this country if it's shut down and they are not allowed to work.
So before we let all of you go, it just sounds like dire situations really all over the world. And I know it's a hard thing to capture, but can you just give us a general sense of the mood in the countries that you're reporting in? And is there an effect in terms of people's sort of sense of the government or their support for their leaders, of something that speaks to kind of a general national mood where you are? And Carrie, why don't you just start?
I'd say here, the president who won a landslide election in 2008 is holding his popularity. Sure, it slipped a bit, and the economic crisis is definitely going to hurt him, but he's still popular, and he still has a strong base. The opposition here is in shambles since that election and since the epidemic, and they really haven't been able to rally and effectively object to any of his policies, which have been criticized a lot in the press and academic circles. He just dismisses those critics as fifis, the elites and neoliberals who want to keep Mexico poor and corrupt.
Philip Reeves, what about you?
It's Mother's Day tomorrow, and that's a big deal here. And it's going to be a very, very sad Mother's Day. A lot of people, they set up some drive-ins now so you can drive through and pick up some flowers for your mum. But a lot of people are in social isolation. Obviously, older people, you can't go and visit them. So the mood is very grim and getting grimmer.
And Emma Jacobs, what about in Canada?
Perhaps what's most notable here relative to the U.S. is that it's just much less politically polarized. The response across the country, provincial leaders have been sounding fairly similar in coordinating with the federal government. Take this seriously, follow social distancing measures, and we'll see how that holds. But it's a different environment.
That is reporter Emma Jacobs in Montreal, NPR's Philip Reeves in Rio de Janeiro, and NPR's Carrie Con in Mexico City. Thank you all so much for talking with us today.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Little Rich